The scammers online spreading their lies, pumping stocks with dollar signs in their eyes. But we see through the noise, cut through the mold, calling out fraudsters. Truth be told, hey, expose the lies, let the story unfold. Truth be told, yeah, shining the light on the tricks they sold. No hype, no spin, we bring the facts, let the truth roll in. Fraudsters beware, your game's getting old. We're taking it back when truth be told. Truth be told. Truth be told. And the truth shall set you free.
Oh, hello everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Truth Be Told. How are you doing, that girl trader?
Doing great.
Awesome. Well, we do have a guest on for tonight's show, so we're going to give a little bit of an intro there, and then we will bring him on stage.
Somebody's got to go ahead and say it. Fuck the shorts, okay? Shorts are some of the most disgusting and despicable, I don't even know what to call them, entities, people. Fuck the shorts, all right? Our stock VWAP is a really great measurement because that tells us what the moving average, the volume weighted moving average is, right? As far as the price is concerned. Our 60-day VWAP is $1.68, okay? Over half our float is traded now at $1.50, $1.55 or above. So there's no reason for a short to drive the price down other than to try to cover their own ass. And they do so at the expense of hundreds of shareholders. It's disgusting. That's why, together with FINRA, we're actually investigating every single 100, 200 share or lower sale, okay? We have all your data. We have all the NOBO data. We are actually in the process right now of doing very thorough investigations with FINRA. It's disgusting. And y'all days are numbered. I mean, it's disgusting what you do. What you do is criminal. You create so much fear within a marketplace. You devalue shareholders just so you can cover your own ass because you made stupid mistakes and bets. So I'm going to say it again. Fuck the shorts. We got you. We got you. We got a way bigger following. We've got way more money. We've got way bigger assets. Y'all play a stupid and dangerous game, and it's over.
All right, so we have Josh Cohen, the CEO, on live with us. How is that investigation going, out of curiosity?
It's actually going really good. So you have what's called a NOBO report, which you can get from either the transfer agent or, well, you can't get it. I can get it as a company officer. I can get it. I can see the LLC entity or personal name of holdings, and then I can have that refreshed on a periodic basis, whether that be every day. I've got a direct line to the FINRA New York State, headquartered in Manhattan. I've got a direct line to them, and we've got a great relationship. You know, I have to work with FINRA to begin with, as far as my uplist and my name change is concerned. So the investigation is going very good. We provided all the data. What they choose to do with it, I'm not them, right? I can only provide them with the data and the reference points. I can also pursue lawsuits like we have. So,
do you have any actually pending, or any that are out there, or are you still waiting for the data to come back?
No, we do have a couple pending. Yes. So there was actually through iHub, we threatened. Then it is a John Doe lawsuit. But we threatened to subpoena iHub, and then we actually did file. Not through, you're not going to see it through my name. You're not going to see it through Azure or Vision. You'll see it through one of my holding companies. And we pursued. We're not actually suing iHub. We're going for a subpoena for online defamation against whoever's behind Pepe Oil, which has just been a nagging short that spreads a lot of misinformation and has been on iHub for quite some time.
So what sort of, I guess, distortions are you expecting to see? Because from what we can see on the data one second here, from that FINRA provides is that there's only like about 5,000 shorts total in the short interest pool, and
That's not.
the
And
failures
you
to
can.
deliver on the company is pretty low to non-existent. So I guess, oops, I got all this hidden.
So
I need to fix that. There we go. In fact, while we got this, why don't we switch to over here so we can still see it? We'll give him a second here to standing by because he might have a bad connection here. Oh, sure enough. Let's get rid of the clone. 1 second here. Boom. There we go.
Yep. So
So did you get all of that? I just want to make sure because
I
you
did,
dropped
yep.
out there.
So
Okay.
it's really important that people understand all the ways in the motives and the reasons why people short stocks, right? There can be malicious shorts driven by misinformation or inconsistencies reported by management. And I'm going to actually not say malicious shorts. That's not correct. Those shorts do believe that the stock is a fraud, right? Now, there's also predatory shorts. Predatory shorts might be a rich guy. There's tons of them. They tend to operate offshore. Groups like Alpha Funding, they're one that I would never recommend. They're horrible, horrible actors. Same with Doug Sifu. And so what these people do, they do ladder attacks to try to drive fear into the market. A ladder attack, first, what it does is it spews a bunch of nonsense through misinformation online, typically on X or on Reddit. And then from there, it pretty much curtails or does their best to curtail any type of volume that's in the market. And then from there, thin volume creates the ability for market makers to loosen the bid and the ask. And then a ladder attack is, and we can prove to it. I mean, I can pull trading data and securities data off OTC markets, which I've done, and then marry that up with NOBO reports. And a ladder attack is when it's a low dollar amount share sale when the stock is at a stalemate, and they literally try to attack the price down. Our stock, it's occurred to us many times over the past, what are we in now? 13 months, 13, 12, 14 months since I bought the shell. But so that's when you hear me say fuck the shorts. Number one, there's only 122,000 shortable shares per Interactive Brokers. Number two, like you just said, you pointed to the short data that gets reported by FINRA, but there's a non-recorded short, and then that's that ladder attack. Now, you hear people talk about naked shorts. I'm going to be the first to tell you, I have no idea how that could even occur in the OTC markets, and I don't know if it does or doesn't. So I'm not going to discuss naked shorts because I really don't have much knowledge on how one can even do that.
Yeah.
What's the daily volume on your stock?
The daily volume on a dollar amount or a per share basis?
How many shares? How many shares are traded? How many shares exchange hands every day?
Every day. The number goes up and down. Right now, on average, here I can pull.
Yeah, if you want to do a screen share, just let me know and then I'll put it up there.
Okay, and also, Interactive Brokers, you understand that there's like 120 something brokers. So like Interactive Brokers showing 122,000 shortable shares that doesn't mean anything.
No, but you have to remember, right? So where can you trade an OTC stock?
Well, I can trade it on TD Ameritrade.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So you can do it on Schwab. I wasn't sure if TD Ameritrade was still available.
I'm sorry, it's Schwab. It's Schwab.
Yeah, so you can trade them on Schwab. I believe JP Morgan even has the ability to trade some OTC stocks. So wherever the shares are custodianed, that, to your point, right? That girl, that's what determines. So Fidelity, it can be traded.
But it's not 100. But your total isn't 122,000 shares, shortable shares.
No,
that's just Interactive
through
Brokers.
Interactive Brokers.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I mean, I've watched your stock over the last couple of days. I mean, let's see, how many?
My stock is traded. I'm just pulling in the OTC.
It's like a couple thousand shares, right, a day.
No, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna pull up the OTCIQ report. Actually, you know what? Let me switch over to my computer and then I can share my screen.
Yep, and then I can just put up your screen share.
That sounds good.
I should have added him. There we go.
Okay, see me? Now check
Yep.
this. So this is what the inside of an OTCIQ database looks like, and you can only access this if you're a verified officer. So I'm going to go to my market data, trade quote data. This is literally the platform that control the stock group filings or anything like that. So my average 30-day volume, 29,125. That girl, you were right. On Friday, we had a low trade day of 3,900. It happens, especially when you get in a lot of negative noise online. You can see my outstanding shares are 39,000 or 39,925. You can see on the OTC disclosure page that there's 13.925 million available in the float or held at DTC on any of the brokerages. And then here, let's look at the, so here I'll run a trade data report. So I like to look at it from when I bought the preferred shares and took the stock over, which we filed our change of control on October 4th, 2024. So we'll run that through that period. So call that about 14 calendar months. And you can see here that my total volume traded over that period of time was 29 million shares, dollar value 10.1 million. Across 12,951 trades. So whatever the calendar days, I think that would, here, let me just take a look here. 10, 1, 3, 0, 7, 10 divided by 14. So our stock trades on average about $723,000 traded a month since I took it over.
And you said that it was trading lower because of negative noise online?
Well, okay, that's one component. Component two, the holidays. So this is just the reality, right? But you know, when you're heavily retail dependent like we are, holidays and month ends are typically going to be not necessarily your best periods for trading.
Yeah. I mean, we're in the market. Like, we know how the market works.
What's it?
We're in the market.
Yeah. So
Like-
I'm just explaining
like
to you.
Noisy
Yeah.
and I. Yeah.
No, I'm just explaining to you, right? So what causes
Sure.
stocks not to trade well, right? It's going to be negative noise against the fact that we just announced that we just bought LDF Energy, right? Bringing 50 barrel a day, 190 wells, and 90 of those are producing right now. So, you know,
So
I can't control the market.
Right, but how much of that negative noise? And you know, like I asked you I just asked you if you were the CEO of this company, and you blocked me. But how much of the negative noise is from you?
What do you mean?
Well, you've been
sure.
kicking up a hornet's nest on Twitter. So like, I'm just curious, like,
Well,
when you say
and not
negative
to
noise,
like double dunk stack on this, but it's kind of along the same lines of wouldn't any noise just be volume trading on the stock? I mean, sure, it's going to trade to the downside maybe, but that wouldn't affect volume, would it?
Ken, let me ask you this, right? So this is a pretty good question. And this is actually what triggered my reaction.
I'm not being a smartass, by the way. I'm actually asking.
Oh no, yeah. We're just talking. I just want to the first thing I'm going to say is this. Everybody's got a big personality on Twitter, right? And then when you speak to people, and the first thing I would say, right, like, fuck the bullshit online, right? Like, are you being respectful? I'm appreciate the fact that you're both being respectful, and I'm doing my best to be too. So if you feel like I'm not in this conversation, you know, I do apologize, right?
Yeah, no problem.
You can understand where I'm coming from, but at the same time too, I also appreciate where you guys are coming from. So
no, game recognizes game, because that's definitely how I handle social media.
Yeah, exactly, right. You know, everybody's a tough guy, and then you know, it's like you get to know them, and you're like, oh, you know what? Maybe that guy isn't so bad after all. Or you know what? She's really smart. Like I regret. So okay. Yes, I do create negative noise. In that instance, I did. Did I draw a bunch of negative attention to myself? I totally did. Was it justified? I think so. I announced right before Thanksgiving that we just doubled our well count, which was a substantial transaction. Okay, we ended up adding $1.2 billion in reserve potential, and over 550 wells. Our stock traded really well, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, out of nowhere, a very unusual thing happened, which was a 50,000 share block wall. And so, put yourself in retail shoes, right? Most retail investors, as you guys are in OTC, you want a stock to go up. And so you're not going to buy into an ask if the barrier prohibits any type of movement above that. And that's just reality. Now, granted, you might think that the stock's undervalued. We do have a lot of larger shareholders that think the stock's undervalued. I'm not going to opine on whether or not my stock is over or undervalued. I can point to market comparables like New Era Energy, where they are a phenomenal company. They have a market cap 3 times the price of ours, and they've traded extremely well. And I think a lot of people, if they look at New Era Energy and look at our stock from a fundamental perspective, they'll see a lot of comparabilities and maybe some greater on our stock. Whereas on their stock, there's also things that make them more attractive. They're on a NASDAQ exchange. So, yeah. Did I intend to do that? No. Did it come out of frustration? Yeah. And at the same time, I feel really good about the shareholder base, the foundation that I built over the past 12 months. And then I look at stuff like, 90-day VWAPs or how much of the float has traded above a certain price point. And then, but yeah, I'm a normal guy, right? Just like you people.
Yeah, I mean, I just wonder, like, if your approach had just been like coming to Twitter and presenting what you just presented now but like you came to Twitter fucking hot, and I feel like
you have to understand, right? At the end of the day, I'm probably the only OTC and public market shareholder that now I hold the control shares. So I'm the managing member, the CEO, the final boss, right? Not to, it just sounds stupid, right?
As a curious question, not to interrupt you, but like you're the only executive officer that we knew of. Is there anyone else that makes up like a board or like in the C-suite as well?
So now one thing, so on the OTC markets, we do disclose that. So I designated the seller of Vision Oil and Gas. I also gave him 50% of my control shares. So he and I are equal partners. His name's Rodolfo Tijerina. He is not very good at public facing, not for any particular reason other than he's 60 years old and a little bit more old school. He's my geologist. So he's our chief geologist, as well as I designated him chairman of the board. He doesn't have final ruling or say power over me, but I believe in corporate governance. I've got a chief engineer, and then through growth, I've added a chief regulatory officer in Jordan Forja, a chief field officer in Dwayne Forja, and then we're actually repurposing Josh Watson's role as chief production officer to more chief IR. So, most people in private business, as private business owners, they may not be as savvy with social media. And, my goal is for everybody to be presenting on a very formal stage, formal type of, call it addressing shareholders in a more formal way. But, we're a small company. We're not Oxy. We're not Diamondback. We're not, we're on the OTC. Now we're on the OTC ID. I take my accounting very seriously. I'm an accountant by trade at starting at PwC. I was not smart enough to become a CPA. I don't know if I have a learning disability when it comes to test taking, but if I don't have practical knowledge on a matter, I'm not going to fail. I'm going to fail that test. So that's a little about me. So
I'm kind of curious because
you're not as like egregiously annoying as I thought you were going to be.
No, I'm a real person.
Yeah. You did bring up Doug, and we haven't had him on before, but I know Amy has spoken with him. Do you know exactly Virtu's business as a market maker, or is this more things that you've heard on social media? Like, what's your understanding of the business that Virtu or some other market makers do that you find egregious, or what's your understanding of that?
So I don't know that I actually mistakenly used to blame the market makers. And it's not, the market makers are there to create liquidity. But that doesn't mean that retail and there are, right? Like
but that benefits you. That benefits you quite a lot for a stock that has very, very low volume.
Well, it can, yeah. I mean, and our stock has reasonable volume. Given you've got to remember too, I've never spent $1 on marketing, investor relations, or advertising. So all of our organic volume is driven just through organic social media: Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and X.
Thank fuck the shorts on X.
So, so it should benefit in theory, right? But that 10-day, 90-day, 360-day VWAP is always going to dictate where the market makers, interact. Now, what throws off market makers, and that's going to be retail, like me, you, or you. That would be also bad guys, and there's good guys, right?
What do you mean throws off market makers?
Meaning like market makers have algorithms, right? But then, and you may too. I don't know the level of your sophistication.
I don't have an algorithm.
Yeah, I'm not that sophisticated.
No.
I don't have the money nor the talent to make an algorithm.
No.
But I guess what I mean is that retail comes into a stock and they either buy or sell it, and then that adds to the algorithmic equation. Or a good guy comes in. We've got a couple. They buy up big amounts. They do it on their dime. I mean, they really believe in the stock, and I communicate.
But you understand that makers, like all makers do it, they buy inventory, and then they are by law required to sit on the bid and the ask, and then they really just they sit where they are willing to buy the stock and where they're willing to sell the stock.
Yeah, they play a critical role. They play an absolutely critical role. Okay, so now I understand the point you were making a little bit more when you break it down like that, right? They play a critical role in the market, both on the bid and the ask side. It's the bad guys, right? The Brett Rosens of the world, the Brett Rosens of the world, the Doug C. Brett Rosen's a sick person. So Brett offered to invest $2 million verbally. We never papered it up. I wouldn't let it get there. And I said, oh man, I've got to see it on paper. He wanted me to issue him a $2.5 million convertible note. He wanted to buy share, and that was on top of with no cash contribution to the company. And that was, he wanted to buy shares privately, aged shares privately from an officer of the company, or a non-officer of the company, I should say. So they couldn't be a CEO, chief officer role. They had to have shares. I said, man, secondary share sales, that's market normal participation, but issuing you a $2.5 million promissory note for no reason, that's ridiculous. So
promissory note or convertible note? Promissory note or convertible note?
I'm sorry, convertible note. They are very different.
So when you're talking about like the bad actors that you're talking about are more like death spiral finance kind of people.
Well, so Brett is a fraud. Now, if you go on YouTube, a real fraud. So if you go on YouTube and you Google George Sharp, Brett Rosen, Brett boasts about a lot of things, and he's a very insecure guy. I believe he's a coke addict or a meth head. I've told him outright. Well, I've told him outright, you can sue me and it'll go nowhere.
Yeah, let's not make defamatory statements.
No, I'm going based off my interactions with him. But thank you for you're right. You're right.
Just slide in in my opinion or something.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
We've had a person on previously who's really good at the in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like I think, or I believe. Like just throw a little bit of that.
Yeah, with all due respect, yeah. So okay, so you can actually see his testimonies, his recorded testimonies with George Sharp. The tactics that Brett will use, and these are not my opinion, are he will bet on a stock dying, and he hopes for that to happen because it's a downward spiral, which creates a lot of liquidity in a stock. And in doing so, he ensures before that happens that he has a converted through a 3/810 exchange. Any type of convertible note into free trading.
So he's buying it at a discount and selling it at a premium.
Oh, okay. In this case, so if you're going to do what's called a secondary share purchase, which I don't think is a bad market, I actually think it's a very good market. That would be where someone goes and they say, I want to buy shares from, let's say, not me, let's say somebody that sold a company to us, has done that a while ago. and he wants to buy their shares at a discount to market. I would constitute that more as a secondary share sale. What he was trying to do was that, and then a promissory note, and then claim that the promissory note wasn't serviced, and then force it into a 3(a)(10, and then go in and he does this on pink sheets, okay? Because he knows he can't do this on any tier up above like OTCID or whatever. So he does these on pink sheets. It's very predatory, and then he goes in and then he causes a ruckus and chaos. All the investors lose their bullish sentiment. They all sell. It creates a ton of downward liquidity, but he's the one that's benefiting the entire way through because he goes in with big chunks through that 3(a)(10 exchange, which can be facilitated through a Florida court. And so it's I don't even really know what the right how you describe that mechanism. It's a combination of toxic debt and causing confusion and fear, which if Brett Rosen, if you see him coming in to a company, you should be confused and fearful, right? Because that means there's a desperate need for cash. So
Distressed, right? So, but what Noise was asking was like, because you said Doug Sifu, so like, what's the deal with Doug Sifu?
I just became aware of Doug Sifu. Okay,
Well,
and
he's retired, so he's not in the market anymore.
right. So I'm not a big fan of the allegations and some of the reasons for why he is no longer in the market. I was led to believe that Aaron Chow, who seems to be a gentleman, but I was led to believe on X that Aaron Chow worked for Doug Sifu. So I don't really have a direct correlation
So do
as
I,
it pertains.
allegedly.
Yeah,
we all do.
I don't. That's all it is. So
Okay. Yeah, I don't think Aaron Chow works for Doug Sifu. Nobody works for Doug Sifu
I
because
don't
he's
think so.
retired. But
Yeah, I don't think
yeah. Anyway, sorry. I know Noisy had some more questions. Go ahead, Noisy.
Oh no, well, I was because what you're describing is a lot of stuff that like we've as far as when it comes to like Sharp and Rosen is the stuff that we kind of like when we're looking at some of the meme stocks that we followed, like, we've talked about Bed Bath and Beyond when they were heading towards bankruptcy. These predatory sort of like death spiral financing companies come in and they try and take advantage of a situation where the company needs liquidity now in the form of cash and sells shares. So like as far as Doug or the like market makers saying, not so much agreement on, but like the stuff like that, where like Mullen had a huge scheme going on of giving these preferred warrants, and they gave shares that they used to like dilute people out and everything. It's stuff that happens to these small cap companies where the CEO can be involved with it, or sometimes it's just they don't know better. But like that's
Brett Rosen,
I'd agree with you on that. That's something
that
people need to watch out
that's
for.
really where, it's CC. You just hit it really, really well on the head. Like that's where I lay the hammer on the guys like Brett Rosen. Now, George Sharp, I don't have an opinion on him, but I have seen similar types of tactics that Brett Rosen uses. So I'm not going to speak hey or nay. I'm just speaking off of things that I have seen. Now when you talk about CEOs, right? There's tons of bad ones. You literally. Here's what I always joke with people, right? How do you know if a company is an outright fraud and a scam? Just based off of the tier, right? Did they have the chance to go into OTCID? If the answer was yes, which was more than likely the case for almost every current pink sheet, why didn't they do it? Well, there's really no excuse. All it is a $7,000 fee. But more importantly, which I think drove a lot of confidence into the market, was the management certification. Okay. So number one, if they can't pay a $7,000 fee, are they even a real company? Would be a question that I would have. Number two, if you're not going to sign that management certification, well, you can pretty much guarantee that that's fraud. I always take my reporting very seriously, right? But that certification, I can be held harmless for a material misstatement that was intentional, right? And meant to defraud shareholders. You look at my financials. I'm not going to say that they look great. They look like a small business, right? I did $4 million this past year, pretty much break even. And going now through the restructuring and acquisition of Vision Oil and Gas, and then the subsequent 9 other operators we just bought out over the past 5 months, we're on a much better, more foundational track. I think that a lot of people don't realize the risk that's inherent with small businesses. I can point to myself and say there is a lot of risk in small businesses. Management teams that focus on disclosure, compliance, and uplist, those are the ones to really, go after. And the OTCID, I think, is a good distinguishing exchange. Not to say that there's not bad actors on there. I found a few. I'm not going to give an opinion on the TWOH scandal. Okay, that CEO lives 5 minutes from me in Locust Valley, Emil, and the thing is, I don't know. There's some confusion because it does look legit that they have some SEC filings, and then I think there was something about a Canadian exchange. I think their business idea sucks, and I do think that they just ran a huge pump and dump scheme because all the paid promoters pumped their stock, and it pumped a lot of volume into it, and they all pumped the fact that, well, they said it was a fact. It's not. They said that Emil was a billionaire. And then they were saying he was a billionaire because he held all these shares on NUKK. And so my question to that would be, how can you be a billionaire if your net worth is tied? And this is just based off of what everybody was saying. If your net worth is tied to NUKK, which is a $50 million market cap stock, I just don't understand how that worked. And so I called him during that scandal, and I recorded it on video. And he outright said that those shares shouldn't even be considered in anybody's consideration. But that to me was pump and dump. They drove the stock from 0.001 to 0.005. They drove probably over $100 million of market volume into that, and their stock is back at 0.001. And it was very clear that they did exactly what you said, that girl, about, and you said it too, Noisy, about heavy dilution, attempted reverse merger, but it was really just heavy dilution, then followed by a heavy promote, and that heavy promote included.
Didn't you come to market? Didn't you come to market through a reverse merger?
Can you come? Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I said reverse merger. What I meant to say was reverse split.
Okay.
Okay. And then they did the reverse split. Okay, that makes more sense with what you were explaining. Okay.
Yeah.
So you did come to market through a reverse merger, yeah?
Yeah. So the first thing I did was I bought the control shares. I always tell people, if you really want to make good opportunistic bets, follow good custodians. So Azure Holdings was our custodian. I like to think of them as like a Robinhood. They take large share structures where, unfortunately, a bad actor was in play, defrauded shareholders, drove the stock to below a penny. It became delisted on the expert market. They go in, they clean up share structures, and then they get the stocks back to free trading so that a sponsor like me can buy that from them. So I bought the control shares for them for like 250 grand. 100 grand was cash.
The shell.
That was the shell. Yep. And then I facilitated a series of reverse mergers, which ultimately has become acquisitions in place of mergers. So
now, was this because like the business operation that you were wanting to take public was too small for, like, say, an IPO, or was it just, what was the decision for deciding to do a reverse merger into a shell to create the public company as opposed to some other normal method?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the first thing I'll say is that before I opened my investment bank, Controlled Investments and Controlled Capital, it's the same company, just two different names. Before I opened my investment bank, I was always seeking the best solution in the market as far as capital solutions were concerned for small businesses, primarily blue collar. Now, I'll just shoot you straight. Maybe you can go to the bank and get an SBA loan. I can't. Well, most small business owners can't. Okay. It could be for a variety of reasons. Most banks will consider small businesses risky, and they're not wrong, depending on the type of small business. So the lack of liquidity in the lower middle market and small business side is at an all-time high, meaning like if there's a lack of liquidity. Now, okay, the next option is private equity, and I facilitated a lot of sales to private equity. I always tell people, if you think private equity is a capital solution for your growth, think again. You might as well just hand over 100% of your business versus 50%. And you need to get the most cash up front. So the next level is then syndications. So that would be Reg D 506C or 506B syndication. The difference being that a C can be marketed and promoted, a B cannot. That's a regulated offering, but it's the barrier to doing so is very low. Anybody can do one. You could do one today. You could go on Fiverr. You could hire a securities attorney out of Africa. He would do it correctly, and it would cost you $300. So that, and I actually will tell you that I think the least amount of regulation by the SEC that needs a lot of attention is the Reg D 506C market, where I think there needs to be more upfront due diligence, or at least intake by the SEC when you register an offering of the sponsor. That's my opinion. If you look at People's Equity Group and you Google them, Dakota Smith, People's Equity Group, he raised $27 million from investors just like you and me, frauded all of them, and he just turned himself into the FBI. So that to me is where a lot of rampant fraud is occurring. Now, why did I go public? So great question, right? I wanted to grow my business. I wanted to raise capital. And I admittedly, at the same time, I was toying with two different models. One was a Reg CF, okay, which is a marketed crowd fund on WeFunder. I think these are fantastic for entrepreneurs. I think a Reg CF on WeFunder is fantastic because it's regulated more stringently by the SEC. And it's easy to facilitate and set up. Now, number two is I went public at the same time, thinking that I would have liquidity in a stock over time that would make it advantageous or more attractive for an investor. Boy, was I wrong. Okay, so I couldn't have been more wrong about that. In fact, what I found myself at a crossroads was, do I focus on the Reg CF, which is doing nothing, or do I focus on the stock, which appears to be gaining traction because of my background and my experience? And so I focused on the stock, and then it becoming a tool that allowed us to replace cash in a marketplace for let's be clear, right? There's distressed, and then there's undercapitalized. Distressed, in my opinion, means a bank's coming in and taking the business over, and you've got 90 days to pay that bank loan. That's a scary situation to be in. I myself have been in that situation. So we focus on undercapitalized, really strong, high potential asset bases that are in the Permian Basin. So they're going to be in where I focus the most is going to be in Texas, because the regulatory environment's a lot easier than New Mexico. We will get there to New Mexico, but when I say regulatory environment, I mean that you could wake up one day, nothing happened, literally nothing happened, and the state of New Mexico could demand that you post $1 million bond, or you'll lose all your income associated with their assets. And there's no rhyme reason other than just a change in regulation. But geographically, the state line of New Mexico, we focus on those counties. We focus on historical production. We focus on Railroad Commission compliance and environmental compliance. And then the biggest thing too, my geologists and my production engineer and reservoir engineers, they evaluate what we believe the total extractable reserves would be, right, on a per well basis. And that's how we determine what we offer. And the stock has made it easy for us to grow. And I think that stock, you'll always hear me say, it's not me, it's the confidence that retail has developed and formed within our management team's ability to execute, which we've proven we're good at executing. So I think, long story short, I did go public to raise capital. And
That's why
I
most
didn't realize
companies go public. By
that's
the
why
way.
most companies do. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
not that's not a bad thing. Like that you go public to have access to the public capital market. So like
I mean, you want to
nothing
be,
wrong with that.
or as me as an investor, right? You want to be in a company that wants to grow. Where I will say though, right? Does the company need money to grow, or can the company survive without outside capital, right? That's really important to consider.
And how's that situation looking for you right now as far as needing outside capital? I know that the last financials we have are from May 2025, but you said you had a report. I think there was like a pushback of the filing till the 15th, or am I understanding what you filed on?
You're 100%. Yeah. No. So a big reason for that, and we were very public about this. So in our footnotes, describe all of this too, right? So we're not expecting a huge market reaction, right? So we bought a flowback company, right, which did about $1 million a month with Oxy and ConocoPhillips. So it did about $12 million in annual revenue. We bought that. It had some hair on it, okay, and then the tariffs didn't help. So that's all I'll say. When the price went from 75 to 57 overnight,
Right.
that if you were in oil field services, now I'm also in oil field services that didn't get badly affected, but if you're in oil field services, sudden price movement in the commodity affects everything after the drill bit. So fracking, completions, and production services. And it doesn't affect anything before the drill bit, although they price gouge you down, right? They price pressure you. So it'd be well pad construction, dirt work, and actual drilling, or leading up to drilling. Okay, well, we had to pivot. So for example, our Q4, we're only going to show I think it's like about 220,000 in revenue for our fiscal Q4, the 3 months ending 8/31. That was the last Q2. Was it Q2? Q3 rather. We announced the discontinued operations of Freedom Well Testing, and then the sale back to the seller. We had extracted the revenue, but unfortunately they lied about a very large liability that there was no way we would have captured it through our due diligence. The reason why is that it came out through, it wasn't recorded on any type of accounts payable, and there was no cash trail to substantiate that a larger liability existed. And then it came out in the form of a settlement, or not settlement, but a lawsuit. So we said, all right, we're done. Not at the expense of our shareholders. I pivoted and I went back into ladder life production, which is a space that I've been in for over 10 years now. And then I went more into exploration production activities where we own the well versus we're reliant on well owners and large operators for our revenue. So
just real quick, Gob, I have furniture. Like I just moved to a new house, and like my office just doesn't have, like, there's furniture over here. There's like, relax, Gobbert. There will be more.
I
stuff
stole her
behind me.
furniture. It's in my house. She's not getting it back.
I gave Noisy an entire tour of my house. He's seen my furniture. Just now, you're not looking at my kitchen anymore, and I know that's probably weird for everybody, but just relax. More furniture will come. I just moved in like less than 2 weeks ago. Just, I need you to relax, Gobbert.
Yeah. And so I guess looking at that, because I know you have financials that's soon to come out. So that's why I was kind of getting into that. Some of this stuff is still backward looking. And I assume Monday you'll have the filings, because I believe that's what you said. The 15th was the date.
So on Monday, everybody will see the 12/31 numbers. So the full year pencils out just below $4 million in revenue. Q4, as we've been upfront about, that was a transitional quarter where we shut down Freedom and then we bought Vision. A big thing to realize too, right? Just because we have high well count, we still have to go and do the work that costs per well at a minimum 10 grand, and in some cases as high as like 400 grand to fix a well, right? But most on average is going to be about like in that $10,000 to $20,000 range. So we've gotten production company wide to a point, yes, to your point, it's backward looking. We're going to have Q1 2026 more timely. It may even be out on Monday. Don't hold me to it, but it probably will. And Q1 looks a lot better than Q2 or Q4. So Q4 was probably about 200 grand in revenue. Q1 2026, I think we're around like 400 to 500,000 in revenue. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. Back to your what started the question though, right? How
I was just saying it up because I know I was going to start talking about some of that stuff, but I just didn't know where the difference would be but you did a good job of like explaining where things are going.
You asked a really great question, which is our company in a position where we will be reliant on outside capital? We actually got really lucky. All right. So we made it. Okay. I did have to dig deep into my chief engineer's pockets. So we did put 500 and I think it was like 500 or 600 grand cash between him and myself that was not in the public company. I had it in stock. He had it in stock. And when I say stock, I'm talking about like I had it in Diamondback stock and he had it in Devon Energy stock. So
you sold those and basically put that in.
Yeah. So we put it in, and then and that was enough. Plus the acquisitions that we bolted on that brought cash flow to get us past that turning point. So now it starts to get really fun. It starts to get fun in Q2. It starts to get really fun. In our Q2 is the 3 months ending February 28th. It starts to get really fun in, I guess, the traditional Q2, right? Which would be April, May, June. So I'm just going to grab a water.
No problem.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm going to ask him a question.
Yeah, I mean, you've been patiently sitting there while I was.
So we have an audience question. Have you ever heard of a Mr. Greg McCabe?
I have no idea.
Okay, that's the answer.
Okay. I thought you were back. Like, I haven't been as usual. I pay almost zero attention to the chat.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat. I'm just looking at the audience questions.
Are much better at it than I am.
Yeah.
I apologize. I do have to go in 2 minutes too, but I'm happy to get on any other time. Yeah, I'm happy to get on.
Well, since you only have 2 minutes, I just want to say, like, if you had come to Twitter, presented the way that you presented tonight, I think a lot of people would have had a different view of you. Just so you know,
they may have
just some constructive criticism.
No, you're 100% right. I'm going to unblock you, but and that wasn't intentional. It's. What I'll say is this, right?
I mean, I wasn't even like the most, like, some people were saying some egregious shit to you. You blocked me immediately. I was like, what?
It was because I was taking advice. Everybody was like, "Oh man, just block everybody." So I started blocking people. But
they'll tell you to block me for sure.
Just like all of us. And the funny part too, right? If you had said, "Hey Josh," if you had said in September 2024, "Hey Josh, you're going to take over a public company on the OTC markets," I said, no, I'm not, because that was never my intention or model. But when it seemed like it would, when it started playing the right direction with the stock, then I was like, all right, yeah, I will do this. So, but yeah, I'm a normal person. So
I know I had other stuff, but if you've got to go, that's totally fine. And it might be for the better, because like you said, if financials are coming out Monday, then it might be better to find a time next week when we have more up-to-date information.
Without a doubt. Like, and see, so now the market already expects the Q4. The market actually expects the Q1 results that I've said too. We on X, that's where we post a lot of our news. Normal guy, so I don't react well to negativity. To that girl's point, if I had gone to Twitter, I might not have gotten your attention though. If I came in saying, "Hey guys, I just want everybody to know that I think there's some bad people out, but I'm a rootin' tootin' son of a bitch." But my mom's not a bitch. I'm just saying that as a colloquial. But I do have to go, and I'm happy to hop on with you guys anytime you like. I really appreciate how respectful you guys were, and
Hey, we try
Yeah.
to be when we have people on, like you said, you know, it's a lot of fun to get into fights on X, but usually we try and, regardless of who we have on the show, we give them a chance at least.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Well, thank you both. Yeah, happy to come on anytime. Take care, guys.
Sure. Well,
Bye-bye.
hopefully we'll get you on next time.
Thanks for coming on.
All right. So, now that that's the problem with guests sometimes is you have an idea of what you want to talk about and you just get talking and you run out of time. But we do have plenty of other stuff, don't you worry, to fill out our show because let's see here. We'll move him to the side. Amy, you picked the path here. Do we want to go meme stock silliness first, or do we want to talk about some of the stuff that we talked about last week that you didn't get the chance to be a part of, like say one of our other LOLcows that were in the
James Fishback.
intro? Yeah, like Mr. Fishback. Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
dealer's choice. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, dealer's choice is going to Fishback. Awesome. Let me see if I can find him because I usually have to do the thumbnails down. Why is that in there? Did I pull up the wrong? Yes, I did. There we go.
I mean,
Nope,
I
that's
think
not
he
the right one.
started out with his video.
Yeah, I gotta find where I put it.
It's like Forrest Gump one. I'm not a
There we
rich
go.
man.
There's the right one. His one where he's walking up along the train track.
Yeah. Mhm. I'm not a rich man.
1 second. Oh my goodness. 1 second here. Let me get it. I had to find the right one because when I prepare for the show, I get so many tabs on my browser that even though I have 32 gigs of RAM on my computer's like, make it stop. And so I have to kind of like clutter and then put them back in. So, but here is Mr. Fishback's video. This one's going to be a joy, I'm sure.
My name is James Fishback, and for the last couple of weeks, I've been running to succeed Ron DeSantis as Florida's next Republican governor. I'm making this video because my opponent, Byron Donalds, has made a very serious allegation against me, an allegation that, if true, he argues I could not serve the people of my state. I'm making this video because you deserve to hear it from me directly.
I want to make that clear that that's how he's opening it. Let's see how he does on being honest with his with the voters of the great state of Florida.
What Byron Donalds has alleged is 100% true. I'm not rich. I never have been, and I never.
That's not what the problem is, dude. That's not it. That was not it ever. That nice try there, dude. But that's not what the problem is. The problem, if you guys remember from last week's show, is the most recent thing about Mr. Fishback was while he was 26, he was dating a 16-year-old girl in his little debate club thing that he was running, and possibly was in an abusive relationship with the minor, who he basically at least he waited till 18 to try and get an engagement with her, but it was broken off. So that was last time on James Fishback, the serial fraudster.
Yes, he hasn't even said the most fraudulent thing yet. It's coming.
Yeah. And like, second of all, the issue is, like, I love how he's now given the position he's in. This is the only route he could have gone, but he's trying to spin it as, gasp, I'm not rich. No, but continue.
Aspire to be. He is right. I have student loan debt, credit card debt. My car was repossessed months ago because I couldn't make the payments. And my bill.
Not why.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not
Why it wasn't a matter of you couldn't make the payments on the car.
It was a little bit of a matter of the U.S. Marshals
coming and seizing it to repay a debt to your previous employer as a judgment debtor.
Right. They went to auction and Greenlight Capital bid 20 grand on it.
Well,
right?
First of all, did you hear the full story that came out on that?
No, what?
His mom bid 15 grand hoping to get his car back. And then Greenlight Capital outbid her simply to spite him to make sure he didn't get his car back.
Was it his mom or was it that friend?
It was his mom, from what I heard.
Oh, okay. I heard it was that friend.
I have not
that
been able to pay to unfold the whole Northern District of
It's
Florida.
the guy he hired at
docket.
Azure or whatever. Like the
yeah. Well, that's where they were hiding it. So they went to go seize his car. They couldn't find it, and then they found out his friend at his hedge fund was hiding it at his house.
And that's who was bidding on it at the auction.
Okay.
Yes.
See, I had heard it was his mom. So if it was him, that, that makes sense.
It was it was the person who was hiding it for him.
Okay. Cool story. What else has he got in this one?
Millionaire ex-boss has leveled millions of dollars of legal fees on me with his frivolous lawsuits, all
Okay, first of all, it's not frivolous. I'm glad he finally brought up his legal lawsuits with his former employer. No, first of all, you tried to defame him. You stole proprietary data from him. And on top of that, you took out a promissory note for $200,000 and didn't pay it back.
That's right. Well, two, more than one. He took out loans. He was terrible at his job. He lied about what his job was. Then he stole proprietary information. Then he defamed his former boss. Like, I mean, like,
there's layers, like an onion to this.
Absolutely.
So, like,
and then admitted it, right? And they got the judgment, and like, and now you're trying to spin it. Like, anybody can go read what happened in this lawsuit. Anyone can go read what he actually admitted to, and like, I don't even know why you try to lie. Like, it's all out there in the public sphere. It's not hidden. So like, if anyone took like a second to do some fucking research, you would see that he's full of shit.
Right.
Because I decided to leave his firm and start my own.
No. And you also lied about your position. That too.
You decided to try to steal his firm.
Yeah. No one should be elected Florida governor by how much money they have in the bank, but how much fuel they have in their heart to fight for the families from Pensacola to Pahokee, Mariana to Miami. My name is James Fishback, and I'm running for Florida governor because Florida is our home, America is our birthright, and we can never let them steal it or repossess it from us.
That's how you're gonna end it, dude.
I didn't even see that part. That's terrible.
Let them repossess
it from us? Like, fucking what the fuck?
What even?
I mean, just look at this guy.
Oh my goodness. That was delivered with some extra cheese. Let's just call it like that. Some extra cheese on top of that one. So you had mentioned last week, and you didn't get to talk. Let's see here. Did I have more Fishback stuff? I could have sworn I might have. I had more Fishback stuff. Oh no, that was it, because that had to be at the end there. Is there something else? Oh yeah, this. So he also has another accusation for those of us that continue to call him out. So this one, I think, actually came before that video that he just posted, where he had some other claims that he was using.
Jay Collins, why would you go track down my own uncle, ask him to ask me, to urge me, to beg me to drop out of the Florida governor's race? You've got my phone number. Don't you dare.
So if you remember from last week when he was interrogated, okay, this requires some back reeling, because yes, that I did do things out of order. So if you remember last week, someone went to one of his little meetups and called him out on his shit. Mom. Yes. And so then an article came out from NBC where there was a series of things that came out, including that NBC had gotten the information, I'm not sure where it is on here, but I think it is, that basically his uncle had urged him to fucking get out of the race today. And so this was his little response to that, including some of the other things that were in this article. We'll come back to that after a moment from our sponsors. Wow, that is just a great look. Definitely, we have the great greatest Fishback freeze frames because he always looks like a fucking guppy. Anyway.
Don't you ever go to my family again.
So again, with the whole, how dare you do something to my family that I'm accusing you of that you likely never
And
did.
it's the same thing with that guy. He's like, you called my mom.
Yeah.
Like, and who's his uncle? And Jay Collins, I think I read something that said Jay Collins was like, no, dude. And didn't he accused somebody else like in Washington, D.C. of trying to get him.
That was in this article.
Which was a lie. It's a lie.
Yeah. That nobody in Washington
This
knows
is the same thing as Pulte trying to come out and say that they're trying to kill him for liking BBBYQ or buying the BBBYQ bombs. Like remember when he was like, they want me dead. Like this must be like the pathological liar playbook or something.
Thank you for the feature. Since then, however, Fishback started calling Donald, because he used to be a supporter of Donald's and now he's like backpedaling furiously away from him.
Oh, Fishback?
Yeah.
Right. Well, because he's trying to be a groiper.
Right. Which is also hilarious because isn't his mom Jewish?
His mom is Jewish.
So it's like I don't get it. Like figure it out for me. I'm not sure what's going on here.
I mean, I think that Fuentes hates very specific Jewish people, or I don't know.
So yes, there's that. Give me a second here. So we also had a Pulte moment from this week. I know it was a while ago. Let me see if I can find.
I hate that he's muzzled now. Like we don't get any more Pulte moments.
Well, we get plenty of Pulte moments.
Gimped up in the basement.
They're just few and far between. So let me see if I can find it because I know we chatted back and forth about it. Because there was the instance where he got bitch slapped by Polymarkets, which I don't even really like the Polymarkets account from what I've seen of them post because they kind of incessantly lie. Let's put it nicely.
I didn't see. What are you talking about? He got bitch slapped by Polymarkets.
So, oh my goodness, let me find it. I know it's around here somewhere. I think I might have accidentally closed out of it. I just have got to find. See, usually I'm well prepared. Here we go. This right here. Give me 1 second. Boom. Switch monitors. Switch. Oh, up on me. There we go. Okay. For some reason, it was stuck and wouldn't let me play. So
this one, yeah.
I will do my lone thing here of defending Bill Pulte the last time you'll probably see this happen from this statement. Because yes, Polymarkets did take it out of context. I'll show the article here in just a second. But like what happened was Polymarkets made this post just in Fannie and Freddie Mac to implement more inclusive and equitable credit scores. And Bill says, of course not. That's false and misleading. Then Polymarkets posted this quote tweet, huge. Fannie and Freddie Mae are moving to adopt a more inclusive credit score. We'll get to that because it's stuff we already know, just as a tip off on that. And then Pulte deleted this post, which is why it's in a screen cap now. Mm-hmm. Bill doing Bill things. But what happened is yes, this here. Bing. Which was that they were changing how they did the whole credit check thing where they're using both FICO and they're using now the FICO 10T. I guess it's a new version of the FICO score. And then they're also using Vantage Score 4.0, which is stuff we already knew. And that's what they meant by that. They're doing a more inclusive system for doing credit scores at Fannie. So yes, Bill in this one instance, I guess broken clock right twice a day kind of thing, is correct. That yes, Polymarkets did take him out of context. But here's the thing. If you're going to be part of this, like, oh my goodness, I hope I don't have to reload the. Why is this locking up? I can't switch between the. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to duplicate. And then we'll just get rid of this and we'll go to there. See? Problem solved. I don't know why Restream's deciding to glitch out today, but I'm not amused. But yeah, like Bill, if you want to be part of the Trump anti-DEI culture war kind of fucking thing, then don't be surprised when you might get lynched too. That's all I'm going to say about that. Like, I guess mind your P's and Q's, or yes, you will become a target of the rage mob. Case in point. So one thing you had mentioned last week that we didn't get to talk about is that given recent financial data that likely the Fed was going to cut rates. And guess what? They did. They did cut rates, but not by 50 basis points like the tech bros wanted, only by 25 as was expected. Not a fabulous sign because they were, again, also pointing to the weak economy.
Well, and then the very next day we get the jobs, the unemployment, the unemployment numbers, right? And they're hot,
Obscene.
Right? Above expectations, of course, because they were always going to be. Which is why I said I don't believe the data. I don't believe the. I mean, I put on there where they said they were going to change the dates on these things, and like, you know, they only did that for one reason, and that was for them to cut rates, and because without the data. They're just expect them to remain status quo.
Bill Pulte's hire was due to the fact he is a midget. They had to make a diverse hire. Yeah, Pulte. There's quite a few DEI hires in the Trump administration. Pulte being one of them.
I have it on good authority that he's 5'4". Okay.
Midget man.
I think 4'10" is like a legal midget, so he's not there, but he's fairly close.
Fairly close. We also did get our first look at the potential future Fed chair, or at least who Trump wants to be the Fed chair. I know nothing about Kevin Hassett. Do you know anything?
Yeah, I mean, he's just a sycophant. So he'll go in there and do everything that he wants him to do. But he's also said Kevin Warsh too, who is actually pretty hawkish. So I think he's just like trying to combat trying to say, oh, well, maybe we'll do this guy too, because, you know, then the Fed can still be independent or whatever. It's right. Going to be Hassett because he wants yes men in there, right? Like, and right. He's going to get it.
And we had 2 interviews where he basically said, I should be able to control the rates and do whatever I want to. And he wants it to go down to 1%.
And believe it or not, Lisa Cook was on the yays for the rate cut.
Yeah. So, yeah. We also got this gem. I know this was from last week, but I didn't get to it.
But he wants it at like 1%.
I'm beginning to wonder, because this was put out by the Treasury Department, and then Bissett was patting his back about this as well. I'm like, if yields are going down on U.S. Treasuries and the return on U.S. Treasuries, their face value is going up, it's not good news for the economy, just for the record, because, you know, it's growth and inflation expectations. Inflation can go down, but if the economy is still solid, then so it means that, you know, inflation and the economy are both going down at the same time, which is not good news. But I mean, again, economically illiterate sycophants, as you put it. We also got some other good news, which was they tried to indict Letitia James a second time and failed miserably.
And a third time, right?
I had heard that they tried to do it twice this week, but I hadn't seen anything about it yet because I listened to the Lawfare podcast. They do a Friday wrap-up show of all of the Trump administration litigation, and they said, like, I had known there was a second one, but they said twice this week. I'm like, excuse me, there was a third one?
Yes, there was a third one, and it also got pitched. They're like, nope.
So like, I don't know. I don't know why they're still trying. Like at this point, what even is the point? Like you've obviously lost. So yeah. One of
Well,
our
it just makes you wonder how she got it past the grand jury to begin with.
Well, I mean, we know how she got it past the grand jury, at least from the Comey side, where she basically, I don't want to say lied. I think it was more she was just an idiot, where she basically said that, like, what was it, that you don't need to come to this conclusion to be able to, pass the charge. And there was some information that I think she left out or something like that. So we know that they were playing fast and loose, whether it was intentional or just she's never been a prosecutor before and she made really dumb mistakes. I tend to lean towards the dumb mistakes, even if it's, obvious that she was picked to do a thing, because, it not only saves you from getting in legal trouble, it also, it's best to just assume hopefully the best until proven otherwise. But this one befuddled me. So apparently, let me go to the article first. The SEC approved the DTCC to establish blockchain standards to put shares on the blockchain. Okay, I suppose if you're trading in name only shares on the DTCC, I guess, but like, don't you have stuff like computer share where you can trade them still digitally anyway? I'm just kind of baffled why this needed to be a thing. What really annoyed me though was Anthony Pompliano, who is a massive idiot, was saying that was talking about how had made this article here, the digital age of securities. Like, what are you talking about? My shares are already digital. I can trade them from my computer, or even if I want to from my phone at any time. What do you mean the digital age of like securities trading? That already exists. Like, am I missing something here, Amy? Am I just like so much of a Bitcoin hater that I just don't get it? And so that's why he also made our list. Also, him saying that about the refund checks from the tariffs. I would prefer you just didn't take my money to begin with, because tariffs are a tax on consumers and general Americans. So I don't know. Oh, also, he had this weird thing where did you watch the FOMC meeting?
Mm-hmm.
Someone. Okay, so they said that they were going to be buying more treasuries because they had excess liquidity and they wanted to make sure that they had liquidity for when tax season came in. Was, I think, the way that
no, I think they're trying to shore up the repo market, right? Because there's there's a cash crunch happening in there.
Well, yeah, that's what he's saying. Is usually around tax season there's a bit of a cash crunch, and they wanted to make sure that they had enough reserves to be able to.
SOFR is kind of calling for it, so yeah, I just think they're doing that.
But of course, what they're saying is that it's QE. They're turning on the money printer again, and Anthony Pompliano was saying that, and I'm like, why would first of all, QE? I know the general understanding for most people is that QE is a money printer. It's magic creation of money, but like QE is when the government tries to get banks to buy stuff in the open market or use their money in the open market. So they buy treasuries, but treasuries are usually the base, liquidity of the banking system anyway. So QE is like extracting liquidity from the market. So, which makes sense here, because if you think there's going to be less liquidity down the road, you extract the liquidity now and release it later. So like, I don't think people understand what QE actually does.
Right.
And so I just like, Anthony is a mega moron as far as I'm concerned.
Well, he's not alone in that. There was, all of them heard that and said the same thing. Oh my God, QE's starting again.
It was like a fucking telephone game on X. It really was, right after the meeting ended.
100%.
So, So have you been paying last big news thing before we move on to meme stock land? Had you heard anything about this whole, well, first of all, I need to find the right article probably.
Well, did Pulte tell him how to do this?
The whole buyout thing. So Netflix was going to buy Warner.
Fuck these fucking corrupt people.
And then what was it? Paramount made a new offer for
Well,
Warner.
Paramount's been trying to buy them. Paramount's been trying to buy Warner
Yes.
Brothers, right? Like it's been cooking, right? The Netflix came in with a bid that Warner Brothers accepted.
Right. And now they're
Then
trying, and now
Paramount
Paramount's trying to do a hostile bid.
Correct. They are doing a hostile bid.
Yeah.
And,
well, it hasn't been approved yet, but they're basically
Right.
trying to make it go to the shareholders.
right.
So they can
But the day before it gets announced that they're going to do the hostile bid with some of the funders being Jared Kushner's funders, Trump is talking about that, that'll have to go through me, and it's
right. And so
not a
trying
done
to use the
deal.
government to basically force which at first
No,
it
has to go through the regulatory things, but like the same way that Biden shot down the U.S. Steel deal, Trump can do the same thing in with the Netflix and Warner Brothers deal. It can become antitrust or whatever, but
right.
It's the fact that Paramount making the hostile bid and the backers, some of the financial backers being those
Trump's
of
bros.
Jared Kushner's.
Yeah.
And Larry Ellison, of course, is anyway.
And what was really weird about it is there seemed to be like bipartisan support to stop the Twitter deal at first, but now there might be some, like pushing the brakes on it because it sounds
Twitter
very
deal?
politically motivated. Yeah,
Or the Netflix
because
deal?
I heard that there were people on the left wanting to block the Twitter deal. Like it may be that they also would like the deal to Paramount probably blocked too.
Why are you saying Twitter? Do you mean Netflix?
Netflix, sorry.
Okay, I was like,
yeah,
why are you
I didn't realize I was
Twitter?
saying Twitter because I was thinking Netflix. But
well, and I think that Paramount had come to the table with a higher bid than Netflix.
Originally, that was my understanding.
That's right, and Warner Brothers just chose
was
Netflix,
not interested,
and Paramount is like the psycho who didn't get chosen, who's like,
right,
use me or I will slit your throat.
Yeah, so there's a lot of all around just
I think it's probably
fucky wucky going on in there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna save that actually for stupid tweet of the week. We're gonna move you.
Paramount's being a pick-me girl.
Oh yeah, there was one other Pulte thing that I had totally forgotten about. Give me 1 second here. Boom. So apparently we have a congressional watchdog, the GAO, the Government Accountability Office, is investigating Bill Pulte, to which Pam Bondi was like, ain't nobody investigating my boy. Sorry, Pam. It's happening.
A lot of my ears.
Sorry. I probably should turn down the gain. There. Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
Less ear bleed. Less ear bleed. But yeah, and we also have a potential, like the Democrat senators on the the banking committee, finance and banking committee, that was part of his appointment process, are wanting to have him come in and set for hearings. So that'll be fun. Should we send each one of them a copy of his deposition in the Brandon Jones case so they can do some debate prep?
Did they get that taken off the docket? Otherwise,
I don't know. I just know that they had asked that he come and set in front of them before January, I want to say, but if it hasn't happened now, I don't think they'll get it in before the holidays. So maybe it has been. I don't know.
What, for him to come testify?
Yeah, or at least move till next year.
I'm sure that. Well, it was for they asked. It was for January of next year.
Oh, January next year. I thought they wanted him to set before January of next year.
No. In January that's why Merry
okay.
Christmas. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. So it is now meme stock realm time. I haven't gotten a chance actually to read all of this. But we did finally get the 2024 financials for NextBridge.
Yes.
And we
The
got
final.
a lot of funny stuff about this one. What was it? We finally got our new share count on the company. We got a valuation for the company's shares too, if I'm correct. Let me see here. So bookmarks. Yeah, I didn't get the chance to put all the bookmarks up that I wanted to have.
Yeah, wasn't it like
ready.
8 million shares and change? So it's a total of $843, right? So it's like thousandths of a percent.
Oh yeah, here it is. Copy link, bring it over. Yeah, ink, and share this. So yeah, that's like really bad.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say that you clearly should go for that as the valuation, but I mean,
Closest thing they've got to it.
pretty much. And really, let's be honest here. Even before the reverse merger, we were looking at a valuation that was like pennies. So given that the company has not gotten better and has probably, if anything, gotten worse.
Well, and I think in there it said that they like isn't the new project they had like one thing that they drilled and it was a dry hole.
Yeah. So, whatever. We also got our new MMTLP baggy bait of the FOIA request that they got, basically suggesting collusion between the OTC markets president and the SEC, which is hilarious. I swear they come up with a new theory each and every time to just keep trying to string people along at this point. Cause, like, let's be honest. We already know who like the criminals are as far as that situation is concerned. The SEC has identified them. They're currently in litigation with them. So this whole LARP.
Well,
that's
which
going
Berta,
on. Oh, hey, we
Berta's-
even got Amy over here. Whee.
yes.
It's funny when he's dropping all this not
bomb.
Yeah.
Well, so what he's saying is that 35 minutes before Gary Gensler went on with Dave Lauer,
that's
Cromwell
funny.
Coulson,
No, before the
yeah.
it was
they
after.
didn't even
Until after the talk.
That's right. But these are trying to spin this narrative that they're, that Cromwell Coulson is trying to control the narrative by, he assuming that he's frantically messaging Gary before he goes on with Dave Lauer, which, you're just making an assumption, right? Like, and this, this is what Curtis does. Like, he just,
make shit up.
I guess his position is to narrative control and to spin everything that they get, because that's all he does. All he does is spin and shape the narrative to their advantage, whether it is or it isn't.
Right. It's just mostly projection from the lot of them.
Yeah. Like it just, I otherwise I don't know what his role here is, but whatever. But
yeah.
And like Cromwell Coulson really just says like, this is what happened. I think that I think FINRA made the right decision. So I think like what to glean from this is that even like FINRA, Cromwell Coulson, all these people, none of them understood or knew that it was going to not be DTC eligible, that this was like literally
that this was going to go into a black hole.
Right. I don't think any of them knew that. And they figured it out like way too late. And then they U3 halted it. But when they were like, holy shit, like this isn't going to, like, this is not going to be DTC eligible. Like we're not gonna be able to move anything. We're not gonna be able to settle anything. Like the broker to broker, like all of those things. Like I think they figured it out way too late. And Yeah. Doesn't change who's responsible for it, though. It's the people who set it up that way.
Right. And that's always been the situation. Like, this stock could trade at any time if they simply let it, and the only people that can let it is the company, the issuer. Another word that they got really confused about for a very long time. So we got also a shareholder meeting this week. Amy, if you do recall, let me zoom in. This is some tiny ass font. That ain't gonna help us. So
this is for AMC?
Yeah, and then this one was an interesting one. I actually listened to the recording. I don't know. Did you?
No.
Okay. So this one was interesting. They had voted to declassify the members. It passed overwhelmingly of those that voted, but that was one of the things that still requires you get 50% of all outstanding shares to vote, and they did not get there. So it remains that each is voted for individually for each term. All of them were reappointed to their term. Although, like we talked about last week, who knows how long Adam Aaron's going to be there after having a mini stroke about a month ago. I would think that would be my calling card to ask for my retirement personally. But as far as we know, Adam Aaron is going to be staying on at AMC. Then we also got a vote again to eliminate the prohibition against shareholders acting by written consent to add amendments or ask for things at the shareholder meeting. That was overwhelmingly approved, 90%. But again, this is one of the ones that still requires 50% to pass. And so it was denied. To remove the elimination on the stockholder ability to call special meetings, overwhelmingly passed of those that voted. Again, still need 50% of those outstanding to approve it. So it failed. Then we got the share increase, the one that doesn't require you to get.
Let's be honest. This is the one he cares about. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that one passed because it passed 85%. Now, that's the funny thing is you can still see that there's some angst against this sort of thing because all the rest of these motions passed by like 90%. Then this one still by a very strong majority, 85%, but not as strong as the other ones. The appointment of Ernst & Young passed with 90%. The vote on executive compensation was the worst vote
always
that we had. 52%. It passed, but like it was a near run thing. Now, given this is only advisory, they can still go on and approve the pay package, but the shareholders like that was the slimmest margin, only 52%. If you want to round up 53. So, not like that. That's the weird thing is like the compensation package is a real tight run, but you reappointed all the executives by like 80 and 70% respectively. So do you like, maybe I need to look at the pay package and see if it was good or bad. Maybe Tony can inform me as to what the executive pay package is for AMC, but, yeah, that was rejected almost. It was a pretty close vote. And then, of course, they adjourned the meeting. So, I mean, the one thing that the law changed in Delaware ended up being the only thing that passed. AMC, of course, getting more shares authorized, which they desperately needed because all their shares up to this point were tied to the fact that, they had the convertible bonds. Also, it means that they can now take the lower interest rate on those bonds because they now are convertible as opposed to having the higher interest rate and them not being convertible because they don't have the shares attached to them. So it's good for the company, but I'm not saying it's good for shareholders. Like this again is the reason why I like the last couple times I've been on Tony's show, and I always get asked the question if I'm, would I buy AMC or am I bullish on AMC? Fuck no. Like until they figure this out, until the like, I don't even know if the market for movies and theaters is going to recover to like post pandemic levels, because it's kind of
Pre-pandemic
leveled up.
levels. Pre-pandemic levels.
Yeah, pre-pandemic levels, because it's kind of leveled off. Funny that every time an item on the vote that gave shareholders utility and choice was voted no. Well, I mean, it wasn't voted no. It's just that the Delaware law change was very narrow. Like, all of it passed by like 90%. In fact, all of them except one passed by outstanding margins. It's just only one of those votes had the special rule where it's people voting. And it's right. Yes.
That's it.
And that's the weird thing, is like,
and that's always right. Like, but I mean, even AMC has a better turnout than most. Like, they actually do turn out to vote. Well, a lot of them do anyway.
And here's the thing with this is, like, I understand these rules back in the good old days when most investors were rich and people invested and responded to proxy statements and things like that, because that was their wealth was tied up in this sort of thing. But when you have like retail investors, who most of them toss the proxy statement, imagine a presidential election where if the president didn't get 51% of all possible people who could have voted, they don't get elected president. Can you imagine an election like that? We would never elect a president. So I think that should be a general rule change, that at least leave it up to the company. Like, they can put it in the Delaware law that it's up to the company to decide if they want it the old way, where you have to have 51% of all shareholders or 51% of those voting. Because when you have a retail base that most retail shareholders just don't engage with the company like that, they buy the company and then they forget about it. It's just, when you want to do corporate governance things, for those that do participate, it's a penalty, because 50% of people just don't participate at all. So that is my speech on the whole AMC shareholder vote at the shareholder meeting. That's my thoughts on that. Of course, we had an article about Frank Inez, of course, focusing on the dilution. But like, this is a company that still doesn't make any earnings. So of course they're going to have to dilute. They've got debts to pay. They've got, and until this situation gets better from AMC, like, if you don't like that, don't invest in the company. I mean, that's all I got to say about that. Unless you're Ethan and you'll just keep promising to sue the company and then never do it. He said that this was his last post to notice, but he kept posting the rest of the day. But I mean, hopefully it's his last post. It might be his last post. We'll see. He's got a court date in the 26th of January. So
our shareholder database.
He's been pushing that for what, 3 years now almost. It's coming up on 3 years.
He certainly has reached out to people. He's DMs every freaking person.
He DM'd one of my old burner accounts when I went and followed him. It's hilarious.
It's so weird.
But you want to know the crossover that I've been waiting for AMC?
Yes.
The Jeffrey Epstein connection. Hey, Tony, did you know that AMC is part of the Jeffrey Epstein network? You know what? You said you listened to, what was it? One of these MMTLP spaces today where Michael was in there and he was again.
Oh, me? Yeah.
Or no, it was Platinum. She said that she immediately got in the call.
Yes, it was Epstein.
And the first thing out of his mouth was Epstein.
Yes.
So
yeah, that's all he talks about.
It is. It literally is the only thing he talks about. Mm-hmm. So that's
gotta get everybody to it somehow. Figure it
out. Well, we have talked about next week doing an awards show for our end of the year show. I mean, I would say that if we do have most unhinged baggy awards, Michael is definitely going to be a front runner on that award category. He made me listen.
I did. He's not wrong.
Like you guys are really good at that. Some of these people, it's just gotten to the point where it's just like it's the same stupid shit over again. Why would I bother?
No, this was new shit. I learned like
new shit. Well,
Ghislaine Maxwell was a subreddit mod, or she was like a.
Oh yeah. Why don't you go explain that theory while I get the next thing lined up?
Oh, there was some. I don't even remember all of it, but it was so much, and like there's the Kathy Remmel or something. I don't know, some new person who was apparently Epstein's biggest defender. She worked for Gary Gensler like before, during, and after the halt, and I mean, they're just whatever it is, and it's all connected, and it all means that
comes together.
Yeah, and that what's his name said that the financial impact of MMTLP is like $1 trillion on the financial system, and I mean, just like, you know what, we just say all kinds of shit. Just whatever it is, just say it, and maybe it'll happen. I don't know.
Right.
Whatever.
So we have Retail United finally coming back into the foreground. Did you see some of the letters that X Market News was posting that they had been sending out? They've apparently, according to them, go away. They've sent out 50 public letters. They just got done sending one to AMC, Beyond Meat, GameStop, Open Door, MicroStrategy, Tesla, and Donald Trump. To the
companies?
Yeah. They've sent out 50 letters to like 50 different public companies.
What are they saying?
Let me open one of them up. Let's look at the MicroStrategy one. Let me zoom in on this here. There we go. To Michael Saylor and I guess the board of directors. Retail United Advocacy Group is launching an initiative to address a growing concern shared by millions of shareholders. Abusive short selling and potential naked shorting takes place across the United States equity markets. Citation needed. Multiple companies have already uncovered evidence of suspicious trading and taken legal or regulatory action. We are asking Strategy to take immediate steps to investigate any potential market manipulation affecting your stock, including abusive short selling. Did they even mention if they were like an investor in MicroStrategy? Imagine you're the CEO of a company and you get this letter from some nobody.
They're not investors in any company. What are you talking about?
Are we sure? Like maybe the members are? Like
they're not investors in this company.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's too pricey. What is MicroStrategy trading at right now? $180, 190?
Too much.
Too much is correct. Many investors who are invested in Strategy believe that the company may be experiencing the same type of pressures seen in other heavily targeted public companies. These concerns reflect a wider pattern of shareholders questioning unexplained price movements, unexplained to you, irregular trading behavior, and prolonged short positioning that appears inconsistent with genuine supply and demand. How? Like, MicroStrategy is a literal Ponzi scheme. Like they sell shares to pay the preferred shareholders their dividend.
Yeah, Saylor would literally sell it to zero.
And not care.
Needed to. Right. Like, what do you... why are we talking? Like, why?
Hey, there's Northwest Biopharma. Genius Group. Amazing.
I mean, these people, they've never heard of these companies.
Yeah. But it's like what is this, 4-page letter? Yeah. And I mean, it's the same baggy talking points, to be quite honest. Let me think here. So we do have, before we transition to our next thing, a legal update. So apparently, in the case of NASDAQ and the subpoena sent from the bankruptcy court related to metamaterials, that Discovery will be transferred to Nevada. I don't know if you saw that one.
The NASDAQ?
The
Yeah, I
NASDAQ
did see
one did
that.
get
Yeah.
transferred.
Mhm.
I kind of think that's horseshit, but okay. We'll see how it goes with the FINRA one because that's still pending. I think FINRA has the much better argument being an actual, like, isn't NASDAQ technically an NGO though? Or is it not? Because I know some of those, as far as an
What?
exchange, is that one, is NASDAQ because it's an exchange, a self-regulatory organization, an SRO? Or is it just that FINRA is?
No, I think it's just FINRA. Let's see.
Okay. So like I think FINRA has a better argument because it's an SRO and also the things that are being asked are kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
But we'll see. At this point,
Yeah. No, it's not.
it's not okay. So
NASDAQ's not, no.
at this point though, I'm kind
You said
of
NASDAQ, right? Yeah, no, NASDAQ.
yeah, NASDAQ was the one that got transferred. So like
Right.
I'm not holding my breath on a lot of these Discovery things because as we've learned through the course of things, you know, Discovery
Wait,
is
wasn't this their motion to quash?
it was their motion to, I think they were dealing with the motion to transfer first. So I don't think the motion to quash was denied. The court said, yes, you had the motion to quash, but before we deal with that, we're going to deal with the motion to transfer because if it gets transferred, really the other court should be dealing with the motion to quash, not us. So since it was transferred, they didn't deal with the motion to quash. The Nevada court will deal with that. So like, at this point, especially given the hearing we heard as related to Virtu and Citadel and Anson funds, I am not holding my breath on this. But at the same time, like Baggy shouldn't consider the fact that they got Discovery to be an instant victory. Discovery is like the middle stages of anything, and this is like pre-action Discovery, so it's more limited than the Discovery they'd get if they had an actual litigation going. 2004 Discovery is even more limited as to what you can get from that, even though it's like expansive. What it has to be about the company. So like Discovery is cool and all, but it's not like don't count your eggs before they hatch. Like this isn't proof of anything yet. And well, we know they're not going to find anything because, you know, Wes Christian hasn't even found shit in the one lawsuit that was supposed to be his big coming out party about this evil, you know, naked shorts getter. Like Overstock was one settlement and one dismissal. Like it didn't go to trial. So we'll see. But like again, all these Discovery cases, I'm not surprised that they're going the way they are because, you know, I had the same thing when Bill came to get Discovery for me. It's kind of an open door to have your life violated, and it's really fucking stupid. So that's that. Oh, this one's funny. Yeah, we're gonna put this one up. So we're gonna view this tab. Yes. Okay. So, oh, he deleted it. Damn it. Do you remember what this one was? You want to take a guess?
I feel like I read this, but I don't remember what it was. Was it?
Oh yes, yeah. So this one was the one where the dude bro had asked some questions of Grok. So I guess dude bro deleted it. Good on him when it was taken out of context. But he was asking a bunch of questions, and
Oh yeah, and like
and that hypothetically said that there was like some documents that like emails or something.
Well, no, a FOIA that exposed like all of these people.
Yeah, and then Berta took it literally, even
Yeah.
though it was an AI hallucination moment, which
Yeah. Oh, it was that. It was like the letter that said like we need you to do this so that we don't like get like yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. I'm trying to find here. Oh yeah. It's this. Oh yeah, this was the Frank Nez article on that, so we don't need to deal
That
with
guy's
that.
bio says FINRA is the devil's butthole. Fantastic.
Who? Oh yeah, it's interesting
Creative.
out there.
Creative.
How can you hate it? You haven't even seen most of it. But yeah, usually I have tabs ready to go for a lot of this. Where is it? I know I had pulled it. Where is it? Oh, first we're going to deal with this, and then I need to find that Palacaris discussion that we even talked about before the show started. But first this. So we do know that, and I'm not surprised for second quarter that the PSA Power Packs thing, because most of the time it was in beta during this time period, that there was not much for GameStop. There was not enough meaningful revenue from Power Packs for them to be included in this quarter's, but hopefully they'll give us a breakout next quarter. Yeah, I don't know if I'd take those conclusions, but yeah. So we do know though that the Power Packs were not included in GameStop revenues, though we know most of the revenues right now. We got a new console cycle, so a lot of it's hardware sales. We'll see how it goes. You know what I'm thinking about? What's GameStop trading at right now? Because I'm going to say something real crazy that will make all my haters seethe in rage. Yeah, 21, 23. I don't know. Maybe if it gets down to 20, we'll see. Because I know the end of year sales for this final quarter, covering the holiday season, are going to be good. And people are going to get stupid crazy over one quarter of sales, even though, GameStop's business model is pretty cyclical. Say it right. So I don't know, maybe catching a handful of shares here on the possibility that, Q4 sales come out, or earnings come out, and you might see a short-term bump. Like people read into the holiday sales and it kind of rallies. I don't know. Like not a whole lot, just sort of like a penny for your thoughts kind of trade. I don't know. What do you think?
I am not interested in anything that holds Bitcoin.
Oh yeah. I knew I'd get someone to say yes.
Yeah, you may want to
pump Platinum's bags.
You may want to save that one for
Blatt. YOLO.
Your whole port.
Oh yeah, we're gonna full port my IRA just like everyone else. But yeah, let me see if I can find it, because I know I had it in a tab here at one point, but maybe you can find it before me. The whole conversation that John Hempton had with Palacaris.
Well, I'm blocked by Palacaris, so I can only see one side of that conversation. So you might have to.
Well, I'm blocked by him too, but I can see it. I just have to find it. Oh, hey. Yeah, no, I was kind of surprised too. But to be fair, we did have Michael come on and go absolutely crazy. Oh, I think I found it. Go crazy town. And even though he was absolute crazy, I mean, he didn't do anything too stupid until after the show was over. And then, we all became apparently I'm part of the mystical cabal that works for
Michael Bloomberg
safety. But, oh, here we are. I think this is it. So, yeah, here we are. So, in the middle of George's whole rant, to every self-regulator who still insists MMTLP's problem was a retail misunderstanding, now we have the order flows. You don't have that yet. The broker confirmations, the balance sheets, and the short prints. No, you don't. Like, he's assuming that he's already going to get this discovery. And on top of that, he's already assuming that it's going to say exactly what he wants it to say.
Then why file the motion to dismiss? Like, if they want this so bad, like Berta was saying the same thing. He's like so excited and like wants to put the SEC on trial. Okay, well then
just withdraw your motion to dismiss. We'll go
withdraw your motion to dismiss and go to trial.
Yeah.
Like, it's why are we waiting for the motion to dismiss if you guys really want to do this? Like,
yeah,
it's really easy. Pull it back. Go find out.
John responds, the truth is you bought the right to a distribution of NextBridge shares. You own those NextBridge shares. You got what you paid for. I mean, accurate. And then where is it? Because I can't find it now because but there's this big long spiel that, let me see if I can backtrack it through his replies. Because basically this whole conversation boils down to,
but he's just saying you got the distribution. You got what you paid for.
Which has always been the truth about this.
That's right.
I mean, we can leave it at there without going into it, but I mean, like, that's always been
what you bought. You got what you paid for. You got what you bought, and that's what you get.
Well,
there's no promise that it's going to be worth anything.
And back in the day, like, MMTLP baggies had always said that, NextBridge is my stop loss. So, like, they knew, and they still know, it's just more advantageous for them to play dumb now.
No, they believe that someone's going to pay them out and they're going to make money on this. They think that they are entitled to damages is what they believe.
Yeah.
Like, they're entitled to, I guess, whatever imaginary number they have come up with in their head that they felt like their shares were worth, plus pain and suffering of the last 3 years. That is their belief.
Maybe we can have you on for the next time show too, then, Simi, because I was just starting to get kind of looking into those wells. I haven't quite gotten to, because like the Texas Railroad data is not exactly straightforward. You have to go through multiple stuff to get to it. But if you've done some of that labor, I wouldn't mind having you on to talk about it next time, whenever that next time is. But yeah, I think that pretty well covers most things.
All right. Let's do tweet of the week.
Yeah. Why don't we do that?
I'm so excited. I have a good one when I'm excited about it.
Oh yeah, I probably don't have a great one, but I just saw it in my lineup of when I sometimes set up stuff that's like for the show that I'm going to talk about during the show, and then I look back over and I'm like, no. That's going over here.
Not that one.
It is dumb. It is dumb as rocks. I'm rolling with it. All right.
So here we go.
If you can,
I think we get okay. Why? Okay.
There we go. Yeah.
I think we get BBYQ resolution by end of year. BBBY just hit its 2 to 3 year window for the Knowles, billions plus tax credits, plus emerged entity has survived 2 years. BBBY Lamonis. The DTCC also pushed through the rule changes on reverse merger / SPACs, expedited on the 8th of December. Ice cream tweet. That's it. We are still on the Knowles. We got an ice cream tweet. Like, for some reason, the emerged entity is surviving for 2 years with BBBY and Lamonis means that they're going to get paid still. I mean, I thought it was coming from the warrants, but I guess no. And I also don't think it had anything to do with the survival of a completely different company. I think it was like the going concern, right? Like I mean, I cannot believe that they're still here.
Look, every time I see the Knowles, like as someone who is
It's the
like
Knowles, stupid.
does like tabletop stuff like D&D and everything, all I think is Knowles, like the big hyena creature things. It's the Knowles. The Knowles are coming.
Still gonna win billions plus tax credits.
Oh,
So
my
exciting. We won.
So my stupid tweet of the week. I tend to go for the more mainstream names. So I got us a good old Grant Cardone tweet here. He says, Trump said he'd lower oil prices. Numbers don't lie. Does someone want to tell Grant what low oil prices mean usually? Like, as oil prices decrease, it tends to be a sign of lower economic output, which means that the economy is declining. I mean, sure, if you want to call that a victory,
Winning.
yourself out. Winning.
Stay winning. Stay winning.
And he's using Brent here, but I think WTI is even at like inside the 50s now. I think it's at like the 58 handle, 59. So
I think so too.
I kind of would like it back in the 60s or 70s, if you don't mind. I mean, I have an oil tanker company that transports the oil, and it was doing great. It was up to $62, and it slowly bled its way back down into the mid 50s. And I'm not happy. I'm not happy. So yeah, that is the stupid tweets of the week. If you would like to vote on stupid tweet of the week and you are on our live video audience on YouTube, you can vote in the poll. If you are on X, if you are on Rumble, or if you're on Twitch, you will have to voice vote in the chat. Twitch is our tiebreaker, as they are our ape shareholders. They get to break all ties. So get your votes in. Anything exciting that you have from this holiday season so far, Amy?
Nope. Just busy, and decided to move right in the middle of all of it. And
yeah, I've gotten some new reading material because we had the holiday gift exchange party, and I got a Barnes & Noble gift card. So I got some new manga, got some reading material for possibly making a Changing the Dreaming game. So
winning.
Darn, that's probably not a good sign. That's not a good sign.
Claudia voted for me too. She's bullish for end of year.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's see how many votes I got. Oh, unfortunately, I think the one vote on YouTube is not going to be enough to get over 2 votes. So, speaking of that, next week for Saturday, we are going to be doing our, we saw the Video Game Awards show. We saw GameStop's Video Game Awards show. We thought we'd get in the season of it next week. Instead of our normal show, we're just going to have an awards show filled with awards for baggies and some of our more mainstream topics. So if you have a category that you would like to submit to us, feel free to do so on any social media platform of your choosing. We will be happy to, or put them in the comments. Yes, that would be the best way to do it.
Do you want me to read some of the funny ones? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Look. We've already decided we're going to have our who is the most unhinged baggy awards. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to play it because I'm going to tell you, we've got quite the front runner, we think, for who's going to win that category.
You want me to read some of these categories that Platinum gave us?
Sure, after this one. So
okay, go ahead.
I would like to preview our most deranged baggy category. This came about because Amy and Platinum had totally forgotten about this video. They had forgotten about it.
Neither of us have any memory of this at all.
I had a memory of it and was like, oh my goodness, this is the greatest moment. So this is the straight out of Costco clip. This is our named category for the most unhinged baggy. This is one of the people. Marantz is in this category, and this is why.
To get to this stranger danger video, I've already showed it to Platinum. She knows
It's been a long time since we've seen old Marantz. What's this guy up to?
This is gonna be a great case study in Marantz. Get ready.
What's this
Oh
guy?
my
up
I don't
to?
need to prove myself to nobody. I got something that makes you think twice, bro. Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
no.
That's all. You know, I don't have to fight that fair fight anymore. Those years have come and gone. I ain't got shit to prove to nobody.
He
You know
just
what I mean?
whacked a gun.
You know what I mean, Chili Bean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Straight out of
Online
Costco.
Straight out of Costco. Yeah, we had no recollection of that, and it was fantastic. But then we also have like a few of the ones we're test running.
Yeah, go right ahead with those.
Read the filing. Never heard of her award. The Perpetual Catalyst Award, the Float is Fake Award, the Death Spiral Speedrun Trophy, the CEO Pinky Promise Medal, the Reverse Split Survivor Ribbon. Like we have a whole list of things that we're doing, or that we have, award categories for. So
the Halt Means Moon Award. I like that one.
yeah, it'll be fun.
Oh, yeah.
The Community is the Moat Award.
So we do have a nomination for the comment section for Most Unhinged Baggy Award for MJL. Oh.
No. He's talking about that philanthropist guy, that guy, the screamer guy. The one screaming about how he figured it out, and the Rothschilds and we played it on here, bro.
Okay, now I'm losing memory of clips that.
No, it was like 2 weeks ago. The screamer.
Oh, that guy. Okay,
yeah, that guy.
Different. I like how we have to have this conversation. Mm-hmm. Different unhinged ape.
Mm-hmm. That one.
Anyway, but if you have any categories, please in the YouTube comments section, you can send in Amy's X video feed of this in the comment section there, on Rumble, on X, whatever. We'll put together a list. I'll start putting out polls this week of the categories we finalize so people can vote on them beforehand. Some of them we may just, come up with our own winners of certain awards. Like we can call them participation trophy awards if we want to, but I don't know. We'll just kind of play it by ear. But for now, that is it for this week. And we will see you next week for the Baggy Award Show.